12, but a very respectable number to get on the board.
Yeah, this is good.
Right, heat number 3. Thomas Coates of the USA in lane 1. Lee Woody of USA. Lane 2, Mark Bevins in lane 3, and Woody Wood of USA in lane 4. A USA-dominated field.
No, we've mentioned it. Darren Sadler.
So Darren Sadler was just coming over to explain to us what we'd already mentioned about how with the over 50s, a number of them just physically cannot fully lock out. So the athletes have to show that to the referees. They've had to prove where they fully extend to. And then once they hit that position and they hold it under control, then they get the down signal.
And even then, this is not something that's just exclusive to the over 50s. But I will say with the older individual, you tend to have a bit more mileage on the body. But even when I compete, when you compete, the refs will tell us in the rules meeting, if you have a problem locking out, let us know, show us, and we'll accommodate you as best we can with your down commands.
Thomas Coates in lane number 1 struggling here. He's one of my athletes, and this is a huge achievement for him just to be here. Very, very small compared to some of the others. Pressing is not his strength, if you like. He's done well just to be here. And the fact that someone like that can compete with the likes of Nick Best and Mark Felix, it's a big, personal achievement for him.
That's what you got to tell all the athletes here, to really take confidence and a sense of belonging and knowing that you made it here to this stage. You are in the midst of the world's strongest.
Huge.
Very impressive. There is a lot of prestige here.
So we've got Woody on 6 reps, and I think Bevins managed 1.
Maybe. I'm still seeing zeros on that board, but we'll have to get
I think the referees are just really quick at the resets.
They I believe we might be getting some scores up on the board soon. Okay, and here are the scores for our men's over 50. Eric Patterson in first place with 12 reps. Joey Grape, 9 reps, second place, and then a 3-way tie for third between Andrew Burwell, Mark Felix, and George Pearson with 7 repetitions. Lee Woody and Chad Coy tie with 6 reps. Dennis Troll with 5. Andy Clark and Nick Best tie with 4.
And I think that's the perfect result for Mark Felix there. He'll be very pleased with that first event.
I think so as well. We have 7 athletes failing to get a rep, which means Mark Bevins and Sean Brooks with their 1 rep do get some good points on the board from that effort. But, well, Patterson was just untouchable.
Yeah, first man out. And
add a whole nother 20 pounds in each hand here. And Nick has a little bit of extra body weight to lug around too, so with that. But
yeah, and age.
16 and age.
It's been around.
16.4 seconds with 3:10 per hand. Incredible. Oh, yeah. Here we have our next heat. Dennis Troll in lane 1, USA. Lee Woody, lane 2, USA. Chad Coy, lane 3, USA. And Andrew Burwell of Canada in lane number 4. This is an event where mobility plays a huge factor here. And more often than not, with the Masters division, both 40 and 50 plus, we're talking about athletes that, realistically speaking, there is a lot of mileage on the body. There sometimes is a long rap sheet of injuries involved. Who has the best mobility? Who can operate well with strength and power? I mean, these are the guys that finished the best at the Viking Press. So
it really comes down to how well you also manage injuries. Like, one thing is to be strong, but ultimately the healthiest and strongest will win. Yeah. If you're prone to injury, it doesn't matter how strong you are. So there is an absolute art in taking care of your body. Troll just blasting off nice and steady.
Closely followed by Woody and Coy. The Troll is there first. Quick on that transition. Interesting technique by Chad, gripping near the front.
He lost the grip there by Troll. Woody almost catches up, but Troll gets the start again.
Oh, just right into the finish. Troll drops it.
It's amazing that he can keep repicking and getting that distance with his grip giving. Coy and Woody still fighting for those last inches they can get for whatever distance.
3, 2, 1.
Now we notice with both Troll and Koi, these guys were not gripping directly down the center. Where do you stand with that technique?
I actually like to switch it up sometimes, depending on.
We have, let's see, Steve Islas in lane number 1, Eric Patterson lane 2, David Johns in lane 3, and in lane number 4, Lee Woody. All USA athletes again.
So 2 repetitions is the marker.
Patterson really gave it his all there, and we saw him strict pressing those Viking reps early on. But this is an example of, the supreme presser not necessarily being the best deadlifter.
Grabbing inside of his leg there.
I would not be strapping up to the bar if there's a strain going on. But Johns, David Johns in lane number 3, 5 reps already. Oh, Patterson was coming up.
5 repetitions there by Johns. Clearly puts himself into the lead. We have some big deadlifters yet to come, but that's a solid performance when we compare to everything we've seen so far. He was really good through those first 2 bags with a unique technique.
A unique technique that caused the bag to wind up getting very far out in front of him just by the sheer length of the bag, but he made it work, and he did well.
Yeah, it worked for him.
But here we move on to heat number 4. Dennis Long in lane 1, USA. Steve Islas, USA lane 2. Andrew Burwell, Canada in lane 3. And Lee Woody, USA in lane 4. I'm watching Dennis Long here. He has proven that even with a torn hamstring, he is an animal and ready to attack everything. The tallest athlete, it seems, on this heat. Long levers do work to the athlete's advantage on sandbags. Though it is a longer way up for the athlete, they have longer limbs to wrap around this massive, massive implement.
Woody's the first athlete to complete the second sandbag in this heat.
All 3 athletes on to the 275. All 4 athletes.
Currell is still our current leader. 3 bags in 35:12.
Islas is close to the shoulder.
10 seconds to get this bag up.
Look at Woody. Oh.
Dennis still trying. So no athletes in that heat managing the 275. Over 50s class. Mark Felix is dominating that class. Only dropped 1 point out of a total possible 40.
Look at that lead.
George Parson is in second place with 32.5 points. Andy Clark on 28. Then we've got Nick Best, 25.5. Dennis Troll on 24.5. Lee Wood, 18. Chad Coy on 15. Andrew Burwell on 14.5. David Johns on 12.5. And Steve Islas on 9.5 points. Mark Felix really proving so far he is the dominant over 50 in the world. And that's why we see Mark Felix in so many big internationals still.
And that's why we will continue to see Mark Felix. I have not heard any rumors or rumblings of retiring anytime soon, and nor would I expect it with the strength he is showing.
I can't say for sure, but I have a feeling Mark is the oldest athlete competing.
Here, watching Benjamin Donning go through this series and all the other events evokes the same type of emotion and excitement as watching Jaco Schoenwinkel in the men's open.
Yeah.
2 men that are just clearly coming out of the darkness and
it's so
really
good to
attacking
see.
every event.
This is what's great about official strongman. It's allowing us access from wherever we are in the world to prove what we're capable of. And we're seeing athletes now from so many different regions show that they are strong, show that they are capable of competing and winning at this level.
France is definitely going to be proud of their own Benjamin Donnan right there. Woody versus Johns in this first heat of our men's masters over 50 class. Both USA athletes. We are using the same weight series.
Woody using that same technique as Tommy Lavelle, where he rests the dumbbell against the side of his head. The advantage of this technique is you can keep the dumbbell so much higher, you shorten that range of motion.
But you have to be really careful with how far you dip down so that dumbbell doesn't start drifting.
You've got to make sure it doesn't
back.
get away from you as well.
Yeah.
People have a tendency to push it away from their body. You need to get underneath.
Woody quite gassed as he gets this 160-pound monster bell. Waves to the crowd, knows he left a great effort. Here are men's over 50 standings. Again, with Mark Felix, the only athlete with all 4 dumbbells in 28.28 seconds. Andy Clark, 3 dumbbells, 29.27. Chad Coy, 3 dumbbells, 39.27. Narrowly edging out Nick Best with 3 dumbbells in 40.19. All the other athletes only managing 2 of the dumbbells in the series. Overall standings puts Mark in an impressive lead over Andy Clark by a whopping 14 points. 58 points for Mark, 44 points for Andy Clark, and only half a point lead over George Pearson.
So Mark Felix has already won. He is our Masters champion. He has got an unassailable lead, but we still have a real battle for second and third place between...
So Mark could the car walk by Donnan. Incredible. Gives him a huge advantage moving forward. We're getting ready for our next set of athletes. In lane number 1 of heat 3, Lee Woody of the USA will be going against Nick Best. We're just getting set up. Let's see.
So Nick Best on the far side of camera there, just requesting a towel. No doubt a little bit of sweat or something on the floor here, probably coming from himself more than anybody.
Maybe, but we want to make sure that Nick does not slip, or nor any athlete for this matter.
He was a little bit emotional earlier on after the Sandbag list on more than one occasion. 5th place, I believe.
Can give Burwell a run for his money. Best is off fast, and we're seeing a newly kindled fire in Nick. He is going across the course without a single drop. We see a sub 10-second run, I dare say, out of Nick Best.
I think maybe sub 6 seconds. That was outrageous.
There's a smile I wanted to see. All of those negative emotions, if you will, at the start of the day seem to have just blown away from Nick's mind. He is happy and cheerful. And Woody giving it his best to get every inch of distance possible. It is
looking a bit more mortal here. That was extraordinary.
More mortal. Nick just showing us he's still got plenty of fire burning.
Yeah,
he can never be counted out.
Yeah, he wore the car as a cloak and just jogged off the line there. That was quite extraordinary.
You know, Colin, as promising and as huge of a lead as Mark Felix has, he is going to have to be very fast to overcome Nick's time.
And it's not an unassailable lead either, that's for sure. Nick Best is still in with a shout if he can put in a couple of big performances in these final couple of events.
7.65 seconds for our fastest yoke run of the day, I believe. Incredible. Incredible. He's walking off the field without a limp, with a big smile. He's happy, and I love to see it because he was in a different frame of mind earlier today. And just look at the speed, running with 700 pounds.
I think we almost had 2 feet off the ground there at one point. If this was a race walk. So there is our top 10 as we look at the men's over 50 category as it's completed. Nick Best with a tremendous time by just 0.04 of a second, beating Mark Felix into second place. George Pearson is in third, rounding out the top 3. Andy Clark of England, just ahead of Dennis Troll. And further on down, Chad Coy, one of the big names, or particularly short names in the category, but a big name in Strongman, that's for sure. 18.2 seconds. I think he'd be pretty pleased with that. He wanted to make the top 10, and he's doing a whole lot better than that. Lee Woody, 21 feet, 8 inches.
You like it hard.
Evan, let's keep it PG here,
You
please.
left it open. I apologize.
All right, Woody versus Burwell. Lane number 1, Woody is off.
Oh, with a one motion.
His shirt sticking to the stone a little bit, but moves on to the second stone, the 250. He is a strong stone loader. This is Lee Woody, left of screen of the USA. 275 is up for
Very good
Woody.
Triple extension. Very, very nice pop onto that platform.
Burwell right behind him. Both men advance to the 300.
Woody onto that 5th stone.
Now, if he gets this, he will be the event leader, following Johns with a 4-stone run in 52.28 seconds. Our new event leader, Lee Woody, 5 stones to tower.
Can he get that last stone?
Wasting a bit too much time there, but he still walks out of here. The second heat as our current leader in the men's over 50 Atlas Stones. But the pressure is on. Heat 3, Chad Coy in lane 1 and Dennis Troll in lane number 2. Both USA athletes. And Chad Coy, someone you and I have both had the pleasure of getting to be imparted knowledge by. A true veteran to the sport. A very tough judge.
Absolutely.
At both of these past Shaw Classics. Now, it's good for our men's under 90 category. Oh, and here we have our scores. Mark Felix with a whopping lead in first place, 68 points, the strongest man in the world over 50. And in second place, a tie, Nick Best and George Pearson. However, whoever does better on the Atlas Stones with a faster time will break the tie, and that is Nick Best himself. Nick Best, second place at the OSG 2022 World Championships. George Pearson in third place, tying Best for points, but a slightly slower stone time with 51.5 points and only half a point behind Pearson, just missing that podium. Andy Clark with 51 points and quite a way ahead of the rest of the pack.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing, and a great way to finish out the 50-plus men. It really is.
Next year, we'll get you the official Strongman Games walkers with the tennis balls on the bottom of them. You can scoot out. I'll do it with my microphone on. I said I will announce and compete at the same time. All right, in 10th place for the Masters Strongest 50-plus in the world, the award goes to Steve Islas. In 9th place from the United States, it's David Johns. In 8th place from Canada, it's Andrew Burwell. In 7th place from the USA, it's Lee Woody. In 6th place, Chad Coy. I just want Chad. You can hear me, right? Chad Coy? Okay. I'll mail you a cheesecake, I promise. Tell these guys the story sometime. Or are you too old to remember? Yeah. We'll come back to that at the after party. Sorry, I don't want to hold awards anymore. All right. Dennis Troll in 5th place from the United States. In 4th place, representing England, it's Andy Clark. Onto the podium we go. In 3rd place this year, representing the US of A, it's George Pearson. In 2nd place, getting to wave one more time to this wonderful crowd from the United States, Nick Best. And this year's Masters 50-plus champion with a landslide victory, the man, the myth, the legend, England's Mark Felix.